we go. Wait, take.
He's got Ben Troupe at the 15, at the 10, hurdles a man, spins to the 5. Oh my, still on his feet, still pounding to the goal line. He's gonna score!
What up, my good people? I am Ben Troupe, and this is No Weddings in the Fall, where we will be breaking down college football, NFL football, but most importantly, this is about the love for the game. To those of you who are willing to get married in the fall, where's the love? Where's the loyalty? To my fans out there who love fall sports, that being college football, NFL football, we know there are a lot of things that are going to go on. Listen, man, you might have to go to the hospital. That's different. It might be a family emergency. That's different. I better not catch you on a Saturday or a Sunday, dressed to the nines, getting ready to go to somebody's wedding. That is disrespectful, but most importantly, it's embarrassing. Once again, my name is Ben Troupe, host of No Weddings in the Fall. Well, it's all games all the time, just having fun. But look, listen, this is a sports podcast network, and I want you guys to do me a favor. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe, and go to Underdog Fantasy, promo code Troupe, or we will double your deposit up to $100. Once again, like, share, and subscribe. Make sure you go to Underdog Fantasy, promo code Troupe, or we'll double your deposit up to $100. But listen, this is show number one, but we're going to get right into it. Listen, the NFL season is rapidly approaching. You got fans out there who really, really think the teams are going to be good, and you got Falcons fans, like myself, who know we're going to lie to ourselves. We're going to say rise up, but, we got a shot once we kick the ball off. But we're gonna go with the NFC because it's all about previews, who's going to be good, who's a fluke, who's a flash in the pan. But I'm going to start with the NFC North. Look, NFC North last year kind of really surprised a lot of people for one reason and one reason only. Who the hell told the Lions to be good? Number one, Dan Campbell comes in. Yes, former tight end, like myself. And he goes out there. They do Hard Knocks a couple of years ago. Jared Goff is going from he's going from the West Coast to the East Coast, greener pastures. And all of a sudden, not only do they win the freaking division. Now, I get it. There's a guy by the name of Aaron Rodgers who's no longer in the NFC North. He's moved on to the Jets, Jets. No one really cares about the Jets. But the thing about the NFC North that's always intriguing is the quarterbacks. Jared Goff, as we mentioned last year with the Detroit Lions, goes out 10-7. They win the division, win a playoff game. They finding a way to get it done in the dome. We'll see what happens with them this year. But what I like the most about the Lions is the culture. Now, when you talk about three of their greatest players, that being Calvin Johnson, retired early. You talk about Barry Sanders, retired early. And now Matthew Stafford, who's moved on to the Rams, who won the Super Bowl the first year he left Detroit. The one thing they don't do in Detroit is win games. They win games consistently. Dan Campbell is trying to change the whole dynamic up there with the Detroit Lions. I like what they've been able to do, but I want to see if they can keep up that momentum. But then we move on to the Packers. Listen, first name Jordan, last name Love. Finally get to be in the driver's seat. Finally get to go out there and prove that he's ready to take that starting role to the next level. And what does he do when he finally gets to start? Goes to the playoffs. And if you haven't had a chance, the Green Bay Packers, the reason why you can root for them, even if that's not your squad, they did something in 2023 that we got to love them for. They went to Dallas and beat the brakes. Not beat them, beat the brakes off the Dallas Cowboys. Because let's face it, man, no one wants to see the Dallas Cowboys do anything. If you're a Dallas Cowboy fan, listen, go to your bathroom, put some baby powder in your hand, and slap yourself. Because no one likes Dallas Cowboy fans. Y'all are the greatest wait till next year fan base you ever seen. If you want some excuses, if you are out of excuses in your household, call the nearest Dallas Cowboy fan and just ask them to FedEx you a whole box because nobody has an excuse like the Dallas Cowboy fans. But shout out to them Packers. I mean, Coach LaFleur and company found a way to get it done. I went 9-8 last year, but once again, it's all about can you keep that momentum in 2024? I do think that the Lions and the Packers are going to definitely have something to say about this year because I think both of them got two really, really good the Detroit Lions got a good culture. Now, The Green Bay Packers have always had a good culture, even though they finished second in the division, still made the playoffs. And like I said, they was able to dethrone the evil empire known as the Dallas Cowboys. And we can always appreciate that. But then we got to go to Monsters of the Midway. We talking about the Chicago Bears. Now, the thing about the Chicago Bears, real similar to a lot of franchises, they need to find a way to get a quarterback, right? They've gone through a lot of quarterbacks, gone through a lot of coaches, but they had the number 1 overall pick in the 2024 draft. They go out there and they select Caleb Williams, former, USC Trojan, former Oklahoma Sooner, former Heisman Trophy winner. Now, the number 1 overall pick, and they gave him some help. They went out there and added some pieces to him on that offense. When you start talking about things they was able to do in the offseason, DeAndre Swift, Keenan Allen, they've given him some weapons. Finished 5-12 in 2023. A lot of these new Bears have nothing to do with that 2023 record, but they're going to adopt a culture that's lacking. Remember we talked about culture with the Detroit Lions? Remember we talked about culture with the Packers? The Bears have tradition. That's about it. The Bears got what? 1985, Walter Payton and the commercial that they had and Mike Ditka haven't really did much since. Yes, they went to the Super Bowl back in 2007 with Rex Grossman, former Florida Gator. Lost the Super Bowl because outside of Devin Hester running back a kick, it really wasn't much to talk about when you talk about the Chicago Bears. But I am interested to see Caleb Williams and what he brings to the table in 2024. Does that mean they're going to win more games? Maybe not. Could they be exciting on offense? Yes, only time will tell. But then we got to move over to the Minnesota Vikings. Justin Jefferson, let me hold something. My goodness. I mean, you talk about breaking the bank. I forgot that Justin Jefferson played receiver with all that money that he got. But the thing about it, Joe Justin, though, who going to throw you the rock? Sam Darnold? J.J. McCartney? I think it's going to be, different years, same Minnesota Vikings. A lot of points on offense. Not many wins to show for it. Finished last in the division last year in 2023. I know Justin Jefferson was out for most of the season. I think he was still able to go out there and have 1,000-yard season, but finished 4-13. I just think the thing about the Minnesota Vikings is they're a team with no identity. Real nice colors now. Purple and gold is nice. Really, really nice colors. But outside of the nice colors and some nice highlights and a receiver that nobody can really cover one-on-one, it's not going to really have a lot of team success. So for me, I think the division is going to finish, real similar to what they did a year before. So for me, give me the Lions. I got them going 10-7 this year. The Packers, I got them going 9-8. The Bears, rookie quarterback, I got them going 5-12, and that's being generous. And for me, the Vikings, 4-13. And like I said, when you start thinking about this NFC North, a lot of sizzle, no steak, a lot of perception, but reality is going to be different. I like the NFC North because you got some tradition-rich teams. When you start talking about the Packers and the Bears, the Lions have come to the party. They got to the party late, but they are trying to be party crashers again in 2024. We'll see if Dan Campbell can keep that momentum going. And like I said, if you are a Vikings fan, hey man, real similar to being a Falcons fan, which we'll get to. May God bless you. I tell you what you do if you're a Vikings fan. If there is somebody in your family that recently died, and may God bless y'all, make sure the Vikings, you get some Vikings players or former Vikings players to be pallbearers. That way they can let y'all down one last time. I'm just saying, just something to think about. Don't get mad at me. I am just a messenger, just breaking down all things NFC North. I am being true for those of you saying, who is this handsome gentleman on the screen? This is No Weddings in the Fall. Listen, make sure you like, share, and subscribe. And as always, make sure you go to Underdog Fantasy. Promo code Troupe, that's TROUPE, and we'll double your deposit up to $100. Once again, go to Underdog Fantasy. Promo code Troupe, we will double your deposit up to $100. But enough about the NFC North. Let's get to the NFC South. Unfortunately, this is the part of the program to where a lot of you are saying to yourself, NFC South. Who plays in the NFC South? Number one, them boys playing the NFC South. The Atlanta Falcons. Well, I call them boys, but more like little boys. They don't really do nothing. They make a bunch of noise, but it doesn't really mean anything. With Bucks, Saints, Falcons, and the Panthers. But let's start. Last time I went from the top to the bottom. Let's start from the bottom to the top. The Panthers. Bryce Young. Let me tell y'all something. If Bryce Young don't get no offensive lineman, I don't care if he got Megatron at receiver. I don't care if he got Marshall Faulk at running back. I don't care. They're not going to be able to protect him. If you cannot protect your franchise, right, you just a part of the National Football League. No one cares. Because let's face it, it's been a long time since you watched a Carolina game. Let's call it what it really is. Since Cam Newton has left Carolina, and he's been back. What do we talk about in Carolina? I mean, because no one watches the Hornets. I don't even think Michael Jordan owns the Hornets anymore. That's how bad it is, to be in the Carolinas. But if you are the Panthers, you got rid of your best player on the team, Mr. Burns, Brian Burns. Yeah, he moved to the NFC East up there with them G-men. You still got Adam Thielen as your number one receiver. I know you got that kid Leggett, last pick of the first round out of South Carolina. But what? I mean, yes, he was the first round pick, but can he help you win games? Bryce Young, year 2, not a lot of help. Didn't really help him in the offseason. Didn't really help him, as far as like the team around him. So while they could make strides, I got them finishing last, going 5-12 in the NFC South. Basically a division that doesn't have an identity, because you got 4 teams that are a part of the NFL landscape, not really a part of the NFL fabric. Because since Tom Brady left, let's face it, since Tom Brady left the Bucks, since Matt Ryan left the Falcons, no one cares about the Saints, even though Drew Brees is no longer there. They don't really have an identity. But then we move on to the Dirty Birds, my Falcons. We get a quarterback in the draft, Michael Penix, but we got Kirk Cousins in the offseason. You got a guy 35 years old coming off an Achilles tear that's never really won anything significant, thrown for a bunch of yards, a great bank robber. Kirk Cousins is a bank robber. He's made more money since he's been in the NFL than most of these big-name quarterbacks. Since he left, when the Commanders were the Redskins and he was a backup to RG3, when he was driving an Astro van, don't know if he had rims on it, but the man is making a lot. He only played on guaranteed money. We gave a 35-year-old quarterback over $100 million. I don't know why that is, but we did. And he got some help. I mean, you talk about Bijan, Drake London, Kyle Pitts. I mean, he got some players over there. Problem is the defense. And it's going to be hard to stop anybody in that division, because Calais Campbell, one of our best players who was in his mid-30s, moved down there to Miami. I know Jay Coop loving the fact that Calais Campbell, another guy that went played for the Hurricanes, is back down there in South Florida. The thing about the Atlanta Falcons is, if it ain't Julio Jones out there, if it ain't, Tony Gonzalez and Michael Turner, and Matty Ice, the Falcons, if you go to a Falcons game, for those of you who don't know, you know who they got getting the crowd hype? Deion Sanders. You know how many of those kids they'll be saying, why they got the Colorado coach up there? They don't even know that Deion played for the Falcons. That's how long it's been since the Falcons have been relevant. But I got the Falcons going. I do got them going 9-8. I do got them improving this year. We'll see what happens, with the rest of the division. Moving on to the Saints. At the end of yes, sir, no Chick-fil-A on Sunday for those of you who don't know. And that's the best day. You be craving it. And people go to Chick-fil-A for the service. I mean, if we really break down the food, it ain't all that, but the service is all that, and them sauces are the truth. But I will get off topic. When you talk about them Saints, though, number one, the Saints are they all right. I mean, I'm not saying they can't be competitive, but for me, Derek Carr. I mean, that's all you need to know. When I came into the NFL in 2004, his brother David Carr, number 1 overall pick, for the expansion Houston Texans at the time, they play real similar. They good enough to throw. They good enough to win any game, and they bad enough to lose every game. The thing about Derek Carr, no Michael Thomas just still got Alvin Kamara. The offense is gonna find a way to be explosive, even though Taysom Hill is still in the NFL. Taysom Hill, a positionless player, is still in the NFL. If you ask him what position he play, he'll say quarterback running back, tight end, fullback, slot back, receiver, punt returner, kick returner, and the only time he has a good game is when he plays my Falcons. That's the only time. I think that's the only touchdown passes he's ever thrown. But the Saints, number one, they don't got Jameis Winston, so you don't got to worry about them. I don't know, running the play when the game is over at the end of the regular season. He's moved on to Cleveland, but I think the Saints, I got them finishing 7-10. I think they got a good team. I think they got a good enough team to compete in the NFC South. I don't think they're going to win the division. I don't think they're going to threaten anybody. And shout out to the Honey Badger coming back. I think he's year 12 or 13 in the National Football League. I mean, I think a Louisiana native. And shout out to him, man, finding a way to get it done, man. A hybrid safety that's went on to have an incredible career. So shout out to Honey Badger. I try not to root for them Aints because I am a Falcons fan. Yes, I am biased when it comes to the NFC South. Love Kyle Pitts and company, but the Aints finished at 7-10. Now we got to move on to the Yucks. I mean the Bugs. Baker Mayfield goes out in 2023, has a stellar season, signs a $100 million contract extension in the offseason to become the full-time starter. Todd Bowles got rid of a lot of players, since they've been winning. Didn't win no Super Bowl with Todd Bowles, obviously, but no Tom Brady, no problem. They still won the division. Mike Evans comes back, one of the most underrated receivers in the National Football League. Only had 1,000 yards every year he's been in the National Football League, a part of that 2014 incredible draft class and a wide receiver class. They're going to be really, really good again this year because I think they understand how to win this division. I think when you're in the NFC South and you're a team like the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, what Coach Arians and Tom Brady and those guys did when they was there was brought in a winning culture, which means they can replace players and they can still find a way to go out there and get it done. Baker Mayfield, he's good, not great, not a top 10 quarterback. Found a home with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in a conference in a division that's not really that hard to win. But unfortunately, he found a way to do it in year one. I think he's going to do it with the money under his belt. I think he's found a home. No state taxes. The person that had a cup of coffee with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Tampa is a great place to play, a great place to live. And unfortunately, I got them winning the division again, going 10-7. Back, I think it's going to be like their fourth or fifth year in a row winning that division. But it is the NFC South. No identity. Some okay quarterback play. Some really, really good players, depending on the position you're looking at. No consistency. Will not dominate in the NFC as a whole. And unfortunately, the Bucs will represent the NFC South in the playoffs in 2024. And I hate the fact that I have to give love to the Bucs. I can't stand the Aints. The Panthers ain't going to do nothing. And my Falcons going to be on the outside looking in with a better season because when you got an offense like that with Bijan and Kyle Pitts, and Drake London, my cousin Kirk is the one going to be throwing on the ball. So they will not make the playoffs again in year two, but it will be exciting. I am being true. This is no wetters in the fall. And now it's time to deal with me, the best division in football, the NFC East. Ladies and gentlemen, it is time to talk real football. NFC North, NFC South, what the hell is that? We talk about the NFC Beast East, and it has become that. Back in my time in the National Football League, I played 2004 to 2009 when the NFC East was the NFC East. I'm talking about Brian Dawkins with the Eagles. I'm talking about Michael Strahan with the Giants. I'm talking about LeVar Arrington and company up there with the Dan Watson and Clinton Portis and Carlos Rogers and Rex Grossman with the Redskins, now the Commanders. And obviously, when you start talking about, them Cowboys, no one likes them. No one, I can't stand them. Can't stand the Cowboys. I'm not Stephen A. Smith, can't stand them, but I do laugh when they lose. And there's a guy online, I don't know who he is, but he got this song called "Oh, We Still Them Boys" whenever they win. I don't know who you are. You look like a preacher or insurance salesman, whoever you are. Listen, I like the song. I don't like who you're singing about, but that's another time for another day. The NFC East, the Commanders, Jaden Daniels, second overall pick, rookie. He's going to be exciting as a guy that got a chance to watch him a lot. tearing my Gators up in college, coming from LSU, originally from Arizona State. He's going to be exciting. Let me tell you what he's going to have to do. Let me tell you who he's remind me of. There was a team in Washington that drafted a guy, second overall, who won the Heisman. RG3. So I've seen this before. RG3 coming out of Baylor was a second overall pick behind Andrew Luck, right? Won Rookie of the Year. Very exciting. They built real similar. Let's see, Jaden Daniels 6'2". I think RG3 was 6'2". Jaden Daniels about 215. I think RG3 was about 215. Jaden Daniels is like really, really athletic. RG3 was a track guy until he got caught. And once he got caught by Haloti Nada, hope I said his name right. I don't want to butcher his name, Haloti. If I'm saying your name wrong, I apologize, sir. I don't want no smoke. I've seen this before. You think that a quarterback who's exciting is going to make up for what you lack? What do you lack? Everything. We talk about a team that's in shambles. You were a team that didn't even have a name. You went from the Redskins to the Washington football team to the Commanders. I want to ask this question. Everybody want to ask, what the hell is a commander? Like, what is that? You mean to tell me we had to wait for 2 years for y'all to give us a commander? A commander sounds like something two little kids make up about themselves when they playing a game. Two little boys say, man, you the commander. All right, I'm the commander. What? Is it a ship? Is it a boat? Is it a fictional character? No, it describes Washington, former Washington Redskins and Washington football team football. They are irrelevant at this point. I'm sorry. You can't find a coach. Dan Quinn is your coach, which means Dan Quinn used to be the head coach of the Falcons. Yeah, the same Falcons that was up 28-3 in the Super Bowl to the New England Patriots and lost. The same Dan Quinn who went on to become the defensive coordinator, for the Dallas Cowboys, not a head coach for the Commanders. Nothing screams I don't care about winning more than to hire Dan Quinn as your head coach. So for me, Jaden Daniels, I know he got scared Terry McLaurin. He got some players up there around him, but I just don't see it happening. 5-12, finishing last in the division. This division is the most competitive division in football, in my opinion. I don't care about y'all people up in the AFC North. It is the most competitive in football. I got them finishing 5-12. Really, really nice colors. But if I don't even know what the hell your mascot is, what is a Commander mascot? I ain't never seen it. It's not like a dude in a suit made out of spandex with a cape on that run around with big old shoes. Just anyway, 5-12, Washington Commanders. Much to do about nothing. But now we got to move on to the G-Men. The G-Men, they on Hard Knocks right now. Talking about, the off season. No Saquon Barkley, big problem. Big problem. I know they added some offensive linemen. I know they added Brian Burns going to the other side of Kayvon Thibodeau, Dexter Lawrence, right? They lost Xavier McKinney. He went on over there to Green Bay on a big deal. Brian DeBoer, I know they add a big time receiver in the draft out of LSU. Daniel Jones is your quarterback. All right. Tyrod Taylor, who they wanted to bring back, went over to the Jets. Tyrod Taylor said, I'd rather go play for an irrelevant, right, franchise than to play for the G-Men as a backup. As long as Daniel Jones is your quarterback, y'all prioritize. Y'all went in the offseason and said, Daniel Jones and Saquon. And y'all gave it to Daniel Jones. Daniel Jones went to Duke. He was a top 10 pick. So was Saquon. Saquon was the second overall pick. Right? Saquon Barkley has not had the type of offensive line he needs to go out there and get it done. Because when I'm watching Hard Knocks, y'all telling all y'all business. Dan Morgan, he's sitting there. I think they was at the Senior Bowl talking to the GM for the Giants. That's how they found out about Brian Burns. Well, that's great. Y'all gonna have two premier pass rushers with a top three, top two defensive tackle in Dexter Lawrence. Because Chris Jones is number one D tackle in the world. He just is. How is that gonna help y'all win games? I'm serious when I say that. How is that gonna help y'all win games? If you're looking for a rookie, and he is coming out of LSU, last time y'all drafted a rookie receiver out of LSU, he was big time. Caught a one-handed catch. Made him famous. They lost that game, by the way. I just think that for the Giants, the G-Men, too many holes to fill in the division that is rock solid, that don't have a lot of holes in it. I got them going 6-11 because If I got a quarterback that's had 3 major injuries in the last 2 years, and the last time we saw him, he was in the training room getting ready for the season. You don't bring Saquon Barkley back, who was a bell cow for your offense and the face of your franchise, not Daniel Jones. I'm sorry, man. In a place not New York, a guy named Daniel can't be your main guy. He just can't. To me, Daniel Jones is Eli Manning's third cousin removed. They look the same. Played similar. Only difference is Eli Manning played his best in the playoffs. Daniel Jones ain't gonna make it to the playoffs. They are going. I got them going 6-11, and that's being generous. It is. I am being true. This is no weather in the fall. Breaking down all things NFC. Let's talk about them Cowboys. Oh my goodness. So Dak Prescott had the best QBR in football last year. Dak Prescott is a top 5 quarterback, whether you like it or not. Dak Prescott is the reason why Tony Romo is in the booth. Dak Prescott is going to get way more praise than he should and way more scrutiny than he should because he has a star on his helmet and he's the starting quarterback for Dallas. Dak Prescott is cast with a friendly ghost in the playoffs. I don't know what happens. He gets to the playoffs and I don't know what happens. I mean, I'm not saying he's not a good quarterback. He has a chance to be great. But the only way you can be great is if you win in the playoffs. So while he definitely plays well in the regular season, he turns into his name is Dak Promo in the playoffs. Or Dak Romo. I'm sorry, Promo. And speaking of promos, make sure you guys like, share, and subscribe. Make sure you go to Underdog Fantasy, right? And type Troupe into the promo code. Promo code Troupe. Make sure you go to Underdog Fantasy. Type Troupe into the promo code, right? And we'll give you up to $100 on your. Well, we'll give you up to $100 on your deposit. Make sure you go to Underdog Fantasy promo code Troupe. But back to these Cowboys for a second. CeeDee Lamb wants his money. He's waiting. Michael Parsons, I don't know why they won't give him his money. I mean, you better give it to him while you can afford him. He gonna get quarterback money when it's time to pay him. The problem with the Dallas Cowboys is 2 words, and it's always gonna be 2 words: Jerry Jones. I'm gonna say it again. Jerry Jones. The owner, the owner who does more interviews than players. The owner it's about as egocentric as it gets. No, I'm not a psychologist or a psychiatrist. I am not diagnosing him with anything but getting ahead of himself. As long as Jerry Jones has any decision-making power, which he has all the power, with the Dallas Cowboys, they're going to be good, not great, because he wants all the credit. You're only supposed to know who the owner is if they hoist up the Lombardi Trophy and they hand it to him. I mean, I'm sitting here doing no weddings in the fall right now, and I guarantee you, Jerry Jones is doing an interview right now. Jerry Jones probably sits in his house and gets somebody to do mock interviews for him to do real interviews during the day. He's a billionaire. He got plenty of money, and he owns Dallas Cowboys. I'm just saying, as much as Dallas Cowboys are never, ever going to lack talent, as much as Dallas Cowboys has a really, really good culture, they're not going to win anything. I don't care what no one says. It's not Dak's fault. Dak is the reason why y'all win. He's just going to be the reason why y'all not going to win the big one because he can't win the playoffs. All you got to do, listen, go to YouTube and make sure you like, share, and subscribe to this. And then after you do that, make sure you go just type in NFC divisional round with Green Bay, Jordan Love and company, and Dak Prescott and company, and just watch that shellacking. But the Cowboys will be good, though. They will go 10-7. I got them, they're going to be a good team, but unfortunately, they're going to lose some games they should win. They're going to win some games they should lose. They're going to be the same old Dallas Cowboys when it's all said and done. And they're going to go 10-7, which leads me to them Eagles. The Eagles spent some money, people. They did really, really good in the draft. They bring back Chauncey Gardner-Johnson. They re-signed some guys. What I like the most about the Eagles is they have a winning culture. But I said Jerry Jones is the reason why the Dallas Cowboys don't win. The Eagles will rise or fall, swim or drown with the arm of Jalen Hurts. Notice I said the arm, right? We know the tush push, whatever you want to call it. It's unstoppable. I mean, if the NFL ain't banned it, they trying to ban it right now. When they got to go, I don't know if they went to them competition committee meetings or whatever they do in Florida because it's good weather. You cannot stop the tush push. I know Jason Kelce have moved on to greener pastures. Him and his brother has an incredible podcast. He's doing great things. Jalen Hurts, right? He got A.J. Brown. He got Devonta Smith. He got Go Dirt. I mean, he got Saquon Barkley. But if he can't throw the rock to win, it's over. I'm going to say that again. I don't care what the Eagles have as a culture. Coach Sirianni is a hell of a coach. If they can't get it done with Jalen Hurts in his arm, it will not matter. And I don't care how y'all feel, y'all Eagles fans. I know y'all gonna be like, Ben, you just hating on what? Yes, I wear glasses, which makes sure I can see what I'm seeing. But I'm telling you, like Jalen Hurts, right? Like him. But don't let going to the Super Bowl fool y'all. A lot of things fell into place that year. And yes, had they won the Super Bowl, he would have won MVP. But they didn't win, right? They didn't win. I mean, I know we're going to get to it. I know we're going to get to it here in a second with my next division. But let me tell you something. If you can't win the big one, it's all for nothing. That's the difference between good and great. Jalen Hurts is really, really good. To be great, you must make it to the big one, win the big one. You must win your division, represent the NFC, and win it all. Listen, I know it ain't fair, right? It ain't fair. It's life. You want to be considered great in the National Football League. Oh, I know what you're saying. What about Lamar Jackson? He won 2 regular season MVPs. And you got to win it all. So for me, Jalen Hurts, good quarterback, not great quarterback. The Eagles did an incredible job in the offseason as well as in the draft. Nick Sirianni and company, they got something brewing up there, in the city of brotherly love. But guess what? Won't be no love lost or no love given when it comes to them Eagles if Jalen Hurts can't find a way to do – listen, we need Jalen Hurts from Oklahoma, not Jalen Hurts from Alabama, because at Alabama, he was gun shy. He went over to Oklahoma when Lincoln Riley was a Heisman Trophy runner-up because he was slinging that thing. Did he convert back to his old ways? Did he go back to conservative? Well, you better go back to wide open because the Philadelphia Eagles will only go as far as Jalen Hurts' arm will take it. But getting Saquon Barkley in the offseason, woo! You talking about the rich getting richer. Boy, they went from a nice boat to a yacht. They went from a nice community to a gated community. But it don't mean a thing if you don't get that ring. The Eagles will be good this year, just like last year, as long as they finished the season the same way they started the season because they kind of fell off at the end of the year. But with all that being said, I still got the Eagles going 12-5, winning the division. Jalen Hurts is healthy for the playoffs and a playoff run. But once again, Jalen, I know you don't care about what I say. I sound like a hater. I sound like a critic. Or I could just be telling it like it is. Jalen Hurts, if you want to find a way to go from good to great, you better find a way to win that NFC East. Not just get in at the end. Host the playoffs or throughout the playoffs. Get to the Super Bowl and deal with whoever you got to deal with in AFC. Oh, I'm sorry, deal with them Kansas City Chiefs. That's another show for another day. But I am being true for those of you who don't know. This is no weddings in the fall. You do a lot of things in the fall. You do not get married in the fall. Not because you don't love your lady, but because you already married to the game, baby. We married to the game. You got 3 other seasons to get married in. Football season is for football lovers, football players, football connoisseurs, football haters. Not for people walking. Listen, if I got on a suit, I'm not going to no wedding. I don't do that. And you shouldn't either. And if you call yourself a real football fan and you get married in the fall, man, I don't care how much you love your lady, man. You've messed up, and you've messed up bad. But we don't do that. And tell your lady to get mad at me. Say, listen, being true, say we no weddings in the fall. None. I might get engaged in the fall, but I get married in the spring, maybe even the summer. Never the fall, because we got somewhere we got to be on Saturday and Sunday. During the week, we get prepared for Saturday and Sunday, but we ain't sitting in no church, listening to no preacher say, I now pronounce you, I'm not clowns. That's what I pronounce y'all. Everybody in this church sitting over there with your phone in the corner trying to not yell because your team just scored a touchdown when you shouldn't have been there. I told you. If somebody asked you to get married in the fall, if you ask somebody to get married in the fall, or somebody asks you, call up your nearest Dallas Cowboy fan, call 1-800-I-NEED-AN-EXCUSE, and they'll give you an excuse to not be there. How do I know Dallas Cowboy fans got excuses? They built their whole platform on excuses. It's always, well, we would have won if we wouldn't have lost. Or if that wouldn't have happened, this wouldn't happen. If Tony Romo wouldn't have threw a pick, if Dak Prescott would have showed up, just call your nearest Dallas Cowboy fan and they will give you, and it's 1-800 I need an excuse, aka call one of your Dallas Cowboy friends. They'll give you an excuse. But let me tell you something. I better not catch you in no church on. If you in church on Sunday before the game start, that's different. Don't get married. Because if you do get married, they're gonna get married when the game is on. We don't do that. No weddings in the fall. Simple and plain. So we've gone through the NFC North. We've gone through the NFC South. We've gone through the NFC East, the Beast. That leaves only one division left, the NFC West. Ladies and gentlemen, when you talk about the NFC, right, the Beast, we just talked about the NFC Beast East. And I think it's going to be a beast. It's going to be a gauntlet. But unless you live under a rock, that NFC West is pretty serious too. Not because of the bottom feeders, but it's very, very, very top heavy. Because people say, well, Ben, what about the Cardinals? What about them? Number one, the Cardinals are about as irrelevant as it gets. They cannot find a coach that they're going to keep around, right? Kyler Murray is talented. Let me get that. He is talented. Kyler Murray has gotten every coach he's had fired. Every last one of them fired. Every last one of them. And he's on a contract extension. Kyler Murray is good, not great. Kyler Murray is like you go to a restaurant that you heard about, the food really ain't that good, but somebody talk you into going, and you finally get there, and the service is all right, the food is all right, and everything is just all right. He's just all right. I mean, nothing else. Kyler Murray looks like when Kyler Murray is scrambling with the football, he looks like a toddler that you're trying to take a remote control from. He got something in his hand he don't supposed to have, right? It's like you're trying to take it from him. Until Kyler Murray understands that his game is going to have to go to another level for the Arizona Cardinals to be even halfway decent, halfway relevant. We talk the Arizona Cardinals are just a slot filler. They're just a piece to a puzzle that really don't need it, but the puzzle look funny if you don't put it there. So while the Cardinals, new year, same Kyler Murray, they're not gonna do much, man. And the thing about it is, we talk about Kyler Murray like he ain't going into like his 5th or 6th year in the National Football League, who wasn't Rookie of the Year, who doesn't have all the ability in the world to throw and utilize his legs. I got him finishing last in the division this year again. Like I say, different year, same Cardinals. I got him going 5-12. And I am being generous when I say 5 wins because I don't know who those 5 wins are going to come against. And whoever they win against, they're going to be questioning their entire team and their entire program and organization because they say, dude, we lost to the freaking Cardinals. But I digress. The Seahawks. No Pete Carroll. That's going to be weird. I mean, it is. Pete Carroll had established the Seahawks at one point as one of the best teams in the National Football League, one of the best defenses with the Legion of Boom, Legion of Doom, Legion of Boom. I'm sorry, Legion of Doom. That's my old WWF days. I'm sorry, but LOB and Marshawn Lynch and Russell Wilson. Now you got Geno Smith and DK Metcalf and DJ Dallas and all these new. I think I want to say Wagner and moved on to the Washington Commanders, so he ain't there no more. The Seattle Seahawks are going to be really exciting on offense because they got a lot of offensive firepower. But I just don't. I see them taking a huge step back. Still got to beat the Cardinals now. They ain't gonna take that big of a step back. Still got them. Geno Smith has had a resurrection in his career. A guy that was a journeyman, coming out of West Virginia, starting for the Jets. That's what quarterbacks. It used to be the Browns is where quarterbacks go to just, lay down. But now it's the Jets. I'm really, really happy for Geno and what he's been able to do in his career. Really been able to resurrect to get a contract extension. But Pete Carroll had established such an incredible culture there that it took Russell Wilson moving on, Geno Smith stepping in to show you just how great of a coach Pete Carroll was. New coach, new regime. I just don't see it. I don't see the wins. Where you gonna get the wins at? I just don't see it. Got you beating the Cardinals. Got you being competitive now in the NFC. I don't know who they got out of conference this year. I ain't really went through their schedule, but I'll go for them, 7-10. And I think that's respectful, because I do think Geno Smith and company are good enough, got enough wins and games under their belt to be respectful within this division. But it's the NFC West. We already know who the top dog is, for which we're going to get to them in a second. But I want you guys to do me a favor. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe. But please, go to Underdog Fantasy, promo code Troupe, right? And we will double your deposit up to $100. Please in this order, share, subscribe. Go to Underdog Fantasy, promo code Troupe, and we will double your deposit up to $100. And listen, to all you big ballers out there, so listen, I'm gonna put in $1,500. We will double up to $100. So you can put as much money as you want to put in there, but we will double up to $100. That is Underdog Fantasy promo code Troupe. That's TROUPE. Now let's get back to it. The Rams, Sean McVay, Cooper Kupp, this new receiver they got, Pua, whatever his name is, Pua. He's a beast, a rookie. You're not going to have Aaron Donald. He's gone. The defense is going to look totally different. When you got the best defensive player in football the last 10 years gone, heart and soul of the team. You do got Matthew Stafford. Now, let me say this about Matthew Stafford. I thought that Matthew Stafford was a numbers compiler when he was at Detroit. I thought that he, put up a bunch of numbers, but he had Megatron. Calvin Johnson. So he could just throw it up to 81, and he's going to come down with it. Goes over to the Rams. First year, they had a squad. They win the Super Bowl, right? Because he had Cooper Kupp. Why is that important? Because when Cooper Kupp was there, when they went to the Super Bowl the first time with Jared Goff, he was injured, and they couldn't. They literally didn't score a touchdown. They scored 3 points in the Super Bowl. 3 points. Anyway, I like what Sean McVay got going on. He's not just a flash in the pan. He is one of the best young coaches still in the National Football League. It used to be a time that if you knew Sean McVay, coach with Sean McVay, Puka Nacua. I'm sorry, Puka Nacua. I'm sorry, Puka. I'm not. Let me say this, people. I'm a country boy from Swainsboro, Georgia. I will mess up. If you've ever seen Shannon Sharp, I will mess up a name in a minute. I don't mean no disrespect. I respect every single player. I know y'all heard me talking trash, about Kyler Murray. He does. Listen, when he's running around with the football, he do look like a toddler that you're trying to take the remote from. I'm not. I respect him now. I was talking about Dak Prescott because, hey, he's Dak Prescott. He makes $100 million. When I met Donovan McNabb in person, when I was in the National Football League and he was playing for the Eagles, I met him. I said, man, you make $100 million. You should never have a bad day. You shouldn't. You got $100 million. Whether it's in the bank, spend it, whatever. But Puka Nacua, I apologize, sir. I'm not trying to mess your name up. You were a hell of a player as a rookie. Can you have that sophomore season? I think you will. But back to Matthew Stafford for a second. Matthew Stafford is one of the best quarterbacks in the league. I think he's a top 10 quarterback. I think Matthew Stafford can make any throw. I think Matthew Stafford is one of the most underrated quarterbacks because people are going to judge him on what he didn't do with the Lions, but he got a Super Bowl under his belt. No Super Bowl MVP, but he got a Super Bowl under his belt. Why is that important? You know who doesn't have a Super Bowl under their belt? Most of these quarterbacks I'm talking about. Jared Goff, nope. Jordan Love, nope. Caleb Williams is a rookie, so you wouldn't have one. Sam Darnold, nope. Baker Mayfield, nope. Derek Carr, nope. Kirk Cousins, nope. Bryce Young, nope. Jalen Hurts went to a Super Bowl, didn't win it. Nope. Dak Prescott, nope. Right? Daniel Jones, nope. Jaden Daniels is a rookie. Brock Purdy, been to a Super Bowl, didn't win it. Geno Smith, Kyler Murray. So say what you want to say about Matthew Stafford. The guy has a super duper bowl. Now, I think Matthew Stafford need to talk to his wife about making public statements because some of the things she be saying are not approved. It shouldn't have to be said outside the household. I'm not coming at you, lady. Matthew. I'm just saying, make sure you keep your home intact because the things she says can and will affect you, and it will make national news, definitely national sports news. Because people kind of was talking trash about it, but that's another that's another show for another day. I got them going 10-7. I think Matthew Stafford and company and Cooper Kupp and company are good enough on offense to keep them in games. I couldn't tell you who's on their defense because if Aaron Donald's not there, are you really watching? I mean, come on. They good, but not great. And I just think that if you are Sean McVay, you're trying to keep pace with his next team, and that would be the San Francisco 49ers. Wow. What Kyle Shanahan and John Lynch have been able to put together since they've been tied to the hip has been anything short of amazing. Been to 2 Super Bowls, lost them both. With Jimmy Garoppolo and Brock Purdy. Jimmy Garoppolo was the backup quarterback that everybody thought was going to be a beast because he backed up, Tom Brady up there in New England. And when Tom Brady had a suspension, he won, I think he had like a 6-game suspension. I think he might have won 4 or 6 games. I can't remember. But Jimmy Garoppolo got a $100 million contract extension off of playing 4 games. I'm going to say it again. He got a contract extension for playing like 4 games and didn't even win all those. Got hurt. With something, I think Jacoby said had to come in and help. Anyway, now you got Brock Purdy, Mr. Irrelevant, who, if he doesn't get hurt, he might go to back-to-back Super Bowls, right? Might go to back-to-back Super Bowls. But, obviously got hurt in the NFC Championship game 2022. Jalen Hurts and company lose to Patrick Mahomes boy in Kansas City. So then Brock Purdy get a chance to get some get right. And it's 4th and goal on the 6-yard line. They take the ball out of Brock Purdy's hand. They kick the field goal. I say that to say this. If you do not have confidence in your starting quarterback in Brock Purdy, he's good enough to win, but if you're going to take the ball out of his hand in crunch time, what's the point? Brock Purdy, it was said by Cam Newton that Brock Purdy is not a game changer. He's a game manager. And everybody went crazy. He's a. They were saying that Cam Newton is a hater. He just mad that Brock Purdy is doing things he didn't do as young as he was doing it. But think about what Cam said. He said, look, he's not a game changer. He's a game manager. Most quarterbacks are game managers. There ain't nothing wrong with that. It's hard to be a game changer at any position. But this is how you know that not only was Cam Newton right, the entire Kyle Shanahan and the entire organization proved him right. It is 4th and 6 on the 6-yard line, 4th and goal on the 6-yard line to win the Super Bowl. You kick the field goal and you kick the ball off for the best quarterback in the world to come out there. What was the end result of that game? Oh, that's right. Miko Hardman, catches the game-winning touchdown. Do you think, I just want to throw something at you real quick. If that's Josh Allen, you think he's getting pulled? Nope. If that's Tua, you think he's getting pulled? Nope. God forbid. If that was Dak Prescott, you think he's getting pulled? Nope. What about Lamar Jackson? Nope. What about Jared Goff? Nope. I mean, people say, well, I'm just saying, like, when we get to talking about being one of the best quarterbacks, you're going to pull him? This is it. This is the win it all. Well, Cam Newton also made a good point when he said this, and I agree. Where does Brock Purdy rank on his team? Top 10 players. I mean, I'm just saying, left tackle, all pro. George Kittle, all pro. Ayuk, all pro. What's that bum they got at running back? Christian McCaffrey, all pro. Fullback, all pro. Right? I'm just saying, Greenlaw, all pro. And the list goes on and on and on with all these players around him, right? With the play calling. So if I got an all-pro tight end, I got a former all-pro receiver in Debo, Ayuk, all-pro, fullback, all-pro, C-Mac, all-pro, left tackle, all-pro, both linebackers. So he's probably number 9, 10. So what you're saying is he had a great team around him. Mm-hmm. And as great as that team was around him, he came up against a greater team, a greater quarterback, a greater coach. Oh, yeah. Because in the National Football League, in order to win it all, the first thing you got to have is a great quarterback or great quarterback play. Because sometimes the quarterback can have great quarterback play and not be a great quarterback. People say, Ben, you don't know what you're talking about. Yes, I do. At the end of the day, right? Do y'all think Joe Flacco is a great quarterback? Great quarterback play, won a Super Bowl. You think Eli Manning is a great quarterback? Great quarterback play, won Super Bowls. So I know what I'm talking about. You know, either you're a great player or a great quarterback, or you have great quarterback play when needed. I'm just saying. So I just know that Brock Purdy had great quarterback play throughout the regular season, postseason. He met a great quarterback. Or that defense met a great quarterback. The greatest quarterback in the world right now. One of the greatest quarterbacks to ever play the game. Already got 3 Super Bowls under his belt. I don't even think he's 29 years old, 28, 29 years old. You ain't even 30 years old. Got 3 Super Bowls MVPs. That would be Patrick Mahomes, boy. But with all that being said, I still got them boys going 12-5. You know, because the thing about the National Football League, it comes down to 3 things for me. In order to be got to have a great quarterback, got to have a great coaching, you got to have a really, really good, a great coach. In that order, too. Great quarterback. Because if you don't got a great quarterback, you better have great quarterback play. You got to have a great coach. Great coaches mean that when things happen, players get injured, things happen off the field, controversy happen, the culture can withstand it. Can withstand it. And got to have a great coach, man. Got to. Because the coach is the one that keeps it all together. The coach is at the bottom because he's the foundation for it all. It starts and ends with the coach, and then what the coach got to have, he got to have that culture, man. And what's gonna make the culture fit everybody, or what's gonna make that culture come alive? The quarterback. Kansas City is the best team in the world. They got the best quarterback, culture, and coach right now. Andy Reid and that coach. So it starts and ends with the quarterback. If you don't believe me, I want y'all to do something for me. I got drafted in 2004. And I think from like 2000, I want to say from 2004, maybe 3. So just say this, from 2004 to like 2008, 17, 18, something crazy. In the AFC, I know we're talking about the NFC, only 4 quarterbacks played in the Super Bowl for that long. Tom Brady, Peyton Manning, Ben Roethlisberger, Joe Flacco. All that time, only 4 quarterbacks. Because Tom Brady, I think he played in 9. Right, he played in 9. I want to say Peyton Manning played in 3, so that's 12. Ben Roethlisberger played in 3, that's 16. And Joe Flacco played in 1, that's 17. So don't tell. I know what I'm talking about. If you have a great quarterback or great quarterback play, you got a great coach and a great coach, you got a shot to be really, really good, really, really good, and you got a shot to win it all. Nick Sirianni had great quarterback play, great coach, and I think he got a shot to be a great coach. Who he lost to? Kansas City. Kyle Shanahan, right? He had great quarterback play. Jimmy Garoppolo, Brock Purdy had a great culture. Culture is like the team. I like to call it the culture, though. And he's a great coach. Who he lost to? Patrick Mahomes, boy. Patrick Mahomes, boy. The one time he lost that Super Bowl, who he lost to? Tom Brady, the greatest. The Bucs had a great culture at that time. Great. Bruce Arians had been around. I know what I'm talking about. So all these teams that I'm mentioning, when you talk about the Lions, the Packers, the Bears, the Vikings, the Bucs, the Saints, the Falcons, the Panthers, the Eagles, the Cowboys, the Giants, and the Commanders, 49ers, Rams, Seahawks, and Cardinals, whether you a fan of those or opposed of those, how many of those teams got great quarterback play? How many got great quarterbacks? Not all of them. How many of them got great coaches? Yeah, some of them. Who got great coaches? You can't win like that. You can't win like that. But let me tell you how you can win and how you should win. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe. That's the first thing you do. Second thing you do, go to Underdog Fantasy promo code Troupe. Go to Underdog Fantasy promo code Troupe, TROUPE, and you will get double your deposit up to $100. Double your deposit up to $100. That's Underdog Fantasy Promo code Troupe. Listen, people, let me tell y'all something. This is a dream come true of mine. No winners in the fall. We're going to have a lot of fun. We're going to be talking college football, NFL football, life. You never know what's going to come out of my mouth, but I'm going to do my best to make sure it's positive, uplifting, entertaining, and fun. But let me tell you something about some of y'all fans out there. I'm going to get at some of y'all because some of y'all are naive. And I know y'all saying, Ben, what you talking about being naive? You a Falcons fan. Okay. At least the Falcons have been to the Super Bowl. We lost them. First time we lost to the Denver Broncos. Second time we lost. Second time we lost to the Patriots. We lost to Hall of Fame quarterbacks. Eugene Robinson. I ain't gonna get into what happened the first time we went. I ain't even get to what the second time we went. No winners in the fall is about you, the listener, the viewer, the connoisseur. Because I'm here to represent all of us. Talking about all things college football, all things NFL football, but I'm going to keep it 100 now. I talk trash because I talk trash, but please make sure if you talk trash to me, man, you can back it up with some type of facts. Not perception, but reality. But other than that, man, we on here to have fun, man. I don't take myself that serious. I do my best to have fun being on these airways. Listen, there are great people out in the world, people like Jason Cooper, great people in the world, right? People that help me do what I do. I'm going to always show love to the people that help me do what I do because if it was up to me, I don't know how Jay Coop and company do it, but I'm happy to have them. I'm looking forward to having a lot of fun with y'all. No weddings in the fall. We'll do this. We get to come together each week. And we get to talk a little nonsense. But other than that, let me tell y'all something. Do me two things. You be you, and I'm going to be Troupe. Literally and figuratively. This is no wedding in the fall. And we out here.